I want to bring in Wisconsin Democratic Congressman Mark Pocan. Congressman, this is your district. These are your constituents. The mayor just said, we will never be the same, but we will get through this. I wonder what you're hearing from your constituents today.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. This is obviously a tough moment. You know, I've sat through so many moments of silence on the floor of Congress never lead to moments of action, unfortunately. And, you know, you always hope your district won't be the next. And, you know, this week it was. It's really hard for to think of taking your kid to school and not knowing that they're going to be safe, right? And this is a problem that's much larger. This is a national problem. It's a uniquely American problem of gun violence. 480 plus mass shootings this year alone, 80 school shootings. And yet until we accept that that is a problem and that is an epidemic of gun violence, we're going to continue to see these no matter what Congress does or doesn't do or state legislatures do or don't do.
When we were just listening to the police chief, Congressman, he talked about sadness, anger, and grief. He said this is a hurting and haunting situation. You had been tweeting about needing to strengthen gun laws just on Saturday. That was the 12th anniversary of Sandy Hook. And you said, quote, it is long past time for Congress to stand up to the NRA and pass common sense gun safety laws that will save lives. And again, that was before yesterday's shooting. But I do think it underscores what you were just talking about. We have been having this debate for decades, since Columbine in 1999. Doesn't matter which party is in power, and there were times when the Democrats were in control. Nothing changes. It didn't change after Columbine. It didn't change after Sandy Hook. It didn't change after Uvalde. What is so powerful that it has effectively blocked the will of the majority of the American people? Many presidents, Barack Obama said it was one of his greatest regrets that he couldn't get more common sense gun legislation through. Is it too easy to say this is the NRA? What is blocking the will of the American people and what seems to be a majority in Congress?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, this is uniquely an American problem, a United States problem. No other nation has the mass shootings that we have. And until we accept that that's an epidemic, like we accepted COVID was an epidemic and dealt with it as such, we're going to, I think, continue to face these. We have to accept that it's good to be number one in the world, except for in an area like this. And we've got to first accept that. Secondly, look, the gun lobby in Washington and the gun manufacturers that really make up the NRA. Look, no one's trying to take away the hunting rifle of anyone who has a family tradition of going out hunting this time of year, especially. But we know that the NRA is really funded by the gun manufacturers who all they care about are gun sales. There are more guns in this country than there are people. And we have to address this at a much higher level. Then there are common sense measures we can pass in state legislatures and Congress that have 85% public support. But it's that gun lobby, those gun manufacturers, the Washington lobby that make it so hard to get those things done in public bodies like Congress.
Well, you know, on that topic, Congressman, we do hear from a lot of people that there are other options in the absence of action in Congress. I read the responses to your tweets calling for action from elected officials. You had people arguing you have to do better at enforcing gun laws we already have. You have to harden schools and other sensitive sites. You have to focus more on mental health. Are there ways to do that? At least get something done in the eyes of some folks who are answering your tweets, even if it's not the kind of new laws that you and so many other people are advocating for?
First, we have to accept we have a problem with guns in this country, and we do. No other country has the same problems with mass shootings like we do. Until we accept that, we're going to work around the edges. Having said that, I mean, certainly we could put more funding into mental health. This Congress, again, doesn't like to fund anything. That makes that harder to do. But bottom line is, you know, it's a ridiculous statement. In fact, I supported my law enforcement for their answer when they were asked this yesterday. Should, you know, that school have been more hardened and fortified? He said, no, we shouldn't have to fortify our schools, and then what, next our hospitals, and then what next, you know, the malls. Like, no, we have a problem with gun violence, a unique problem worldwide that we have to address. address. And if we let the gun manufacturers and the gun lobby in Washington, treat us like marionettes, which they have done for too long, then we're going to continue to see kids die and people die in mass shootings and not know that when you go to work or school, you're going to make it home safely. That's simply unacceptable. So the first thing is acceptance that we have a problem, and then let's kind of go from there. But don't let the gun lobby, the gun manufacturers manipulate us like they have for way too long.
Congressman Mark Pocan, I know it's a difficult time. This is your home, your community. Thank you so much for taking the time.